Today we're making the best Brussels sprouts ever. And I know you Brussels sprouts, but these are sure to win over some of the skeptics at your table. Plus, they're simple to make. No crazy ingredients or involved techniques, just Brussels sprouts, a shallot or two, some oil, salt, pepper, and a nice hot pan. So, let's get cooking. We'll start by washing our Brussels sprouts, of course, and then we're going to trim and cut those. And whenever you see a recipe that tells you to trim your Brussels sprouts, what they mean is to cut out this real hard end of the stem here. And I do that by making kind of two diagonal cuts in, and I cut out kind of the toughest part of that stem. And then if you've got any kind of sad outer leaves hanging out, you can just kind of pull those off. And then depending on what you're going for and how big the Brussels sprouts are, you can cut those in half, or if you want, you can quarter them. So I'm going to get to work on the rest of my Brussels sprouts, and after that I'm going to take my shallot. I've got a really big shallot, so I'm just using this one. You can use a couple of small shallots. You could do a little bit less to taste, up to you. But I'll be slicing my shallot into thin kind of half moons. So when the stuff's chopped, we'll be back to heat the pan and get cooking. My Brussels sprouts and shallots are chopped, and I have a cast iron pan heating on medium-high. Quick note about the pan, you don't want to use a non-stick pan for this. Cast iron's good, just plain stainless steel, but don't use non-stick if you can help it, because we're going to want our Brussels sprouts to take on some really good color, to really sear on their edges. That's where a lot of the flavor comes in, and nonstick just doesn't allow for that reaction as well. All right, so to our pan, we're going to add some olive oil. Don't be shy with your oil and your seasonings. Of course, try not to over salt. You can always add more later. Hard to take it out. All right. But definitely don't be afraid of the oil here, because that's really going to get that tasty chemical reaction going. All right, so to our hot pan with our rapidly heating oil, we're going to add our Brussels sprouts and our shallots, and we are going to try and arrange them so that they land in one layer. You can hear a nice sizzle there. Ideally cut side down, but we'll be turning these, so don't worry. And now our shallots as well. All right. We're just going to give that a little stir to make sure everything's spread out in the pan. Again, if you can flip some of those Brussels so that they're cut side down, they have more of their surface area touching the pan. You get more browning reactions that way. You can do that, but you don't have to be too fussy with it. Okay. So we're going to sprinkle those with some kosher salt. Table salt's fine, sea salt's fine. A little hit of black pepper. Nestle a few more of those down onto the pan. And we're going to let those sit for a good 5 minutes. We want to avoid stirring them too much. All right, hands off, walk away, do something else, and we'll come back in about 5 minutes and get those stirred. It's been 5 minutes. I've patiently left my Brussels sprouts alone, and so let's give them a stir and see how they look. And they look great. Lots of color. You want them to look like this. If you don't like them quite as dark, or you think some of your Brussels sprout skeptics are going to be put off by that, you can always go with like medium heat. You'll still get a good browning reaction. And then if you want them to cook a little bit more, a little bit faster, you can put a lid on your pan. But otherwise, have faith, stay the course, and we're going to just move these around. Add some oil if the pan is looking dry, and at this point probably another shake or two of salt, and then you can add more salt to taste at the end. If you want to spice it up a bit, some ground cayenne or flakes of chili pepper are great, or even just paprika, but I go real simple with these guys. So we're going to give it all together another 5 to 8 minutes of cooking, and our Brussels sprouts will be done. And here we have it, what are known in my household as the best Brussels sprouts ever. We hope you give these a try, even if you're on the fence about Brussels sprouts, and you check back every Friday at 4 o'clock for a new recipe.